everyone, welcome to the Untold, where we interview amazing people and get beautiful stories, and they share their stories with us.
Absolutely.
I'm with Hussein Ajouz, and I'm yours truly, Ahmad ALMazeedi.
100%.
Today we have a medical episode once again, but a different field.
Absolutely,
Different. We haven't covered this side of medicine.
No, physiology isn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, no, I'm kind of like corporate wellness,
Yes, corporate wellness.
which is something I'm very interested in, to be honest.
Yeah.
Just never got into it.
Well, we're gonna find out more with our guest
Yeah.
right after this.
Welcoming our guest, Osama Alowaish. How are you doing today?
Good, how are you?
Welcome to the Untold.
Welcome to the show.
It's a pleasure to have you here. We have definitely a lot to talk about. You're someone that is doing quite a few things in education or work right now. We like to start with a broad question.
Yeah.
Like, what is the untold story, as we say, of Osama? Who are you?
Okay, so I'm one of 4 siblings, so I have older brother and 2 younger sisters. I've been in sports all my life. So I've played squash growing up because of
Nice.
my dad's influence. I also played volleyball, which continue till this day. So both sports I still play. But I started my educational journey, at least in Arizona State, where I did biomedical engineering,
Okay.
emphasized in pre-med. So my dad's a public health doctor.
Right.
So all our life we've been around the AIDS campaigns, all these public health campaigns.
Yeah.
So I think unconsciously it kind of grew in my head that this is what I wanted to do.
You've been surrounded by medicine and
Yeah,
doctors.
all my
Yeah,
life.
yeah.
And we used to go to all these events with him and stuff. So I was
Nice.
always ingrained in my
Right.
head doing these things. So I did biomedical engineering at the time with an emphasis in pre-med. So I had plans to become a doctor.
Okay.
That didn't happen. But I continued after my bachelor's degree. I came back to Kuwait. I worked Ministry of Health for a couple of years.
Yeah.
Nice.
And then I think my real journey started when I worked at the diabetes center. I worked in the diabetes center for 10 years. I left last year. But what I did there is I worked in the gym. So we had a fitness facility there.
Okay.
And what I used to do is, as an engineer, I used to run these cardiopulmonary exercise tests where we'd look at patients when they join the gym. We'd look at their heart health and their pulmonary health. So
Yeah.
how their organs are functioning when it comes to exercise.
Mhm.
And that's when I realized I wanted to do more with these patients. I just didn't want to do just the tests. I wanted to go further.
Okay.
I started doing kids camps there. And then I went to Liverpool to do my master's. So 10 years between my bachelor's and my master's.
Okay. So sorry, can you say bachelor's was in again? What was
Biomedical
it?
engineering.
Biomedical engineering. Okay, and then the master's was.
Exercise physiology.
Okay, nice.
What is exercise physiology?
So exercise physiology is a field of exercise or physiology per se, that looks at the stress of exercise on your body. So exercise, like other stressors, is a stressor on the body. So it changes how your body looks. So looks and feels and what goes on inside your body. So we look at
Okay.
what happens when you exercise on a protein level, on a cellular level, not
Okay.
just how your body changes. So we look at, how bodybuilders are normally bigger
Yes.
built.
Yes.
Marathon runners are smaller.
Of course. Yeah.
They're thinner. CrossFitters are like right in the middle.
But what's the significance of the subject overall?
So exercise could be free. So it's
Yeah.
it's an alternative to medication.
Yeah.
The famous saying is, if exercise was given in a pill, we'd give it to everyone.
Wow.
Because the more you get into this program, the more you look at the human body and exercise, the more you realize you can prescribe exercise to everyone,
Right.
and it will benefit everyone.
Will benefit everyone.
Patients, some research is coming
Yeah.
out, patients who are on chemotherapy, if they exercise
Yeah.
before and during, they actually
They reduce the.
yeah. So it's still, the research is still new in that
It's
field.
taken
but-
for granted, though, isn't it? I
It
mean,
is.
people don't
I think
perhaps see
so.
the value of exercise as much, and yeah.
And they think, like a lot of people, I think, believe exercise, they try to force it into their life. Well, it should be a lifestyle.
Essential part of your life.
Exactly. And then they realized the exercise, if you cut it up throughout the day, instead of doing
Yeah.
it in one bulk, it's actually better for you.
Yeah.
So even if you do, they compared people that did 2 minutes of exercise every 30 minutes versus people that did a whole hour.
Okay.
And they found the people that did the 2
Yeah.
minutes every 30 minutes actually had better, what they call the postprandial glucose control, which is after you eat.
Yeah.
And they found they had better control.
So working out after you eat.
No. So
I'm
No.
so-
working out every 30 minutes for
Okay.
like 2 minutes.
Okay.
Even if you get up at your desk or get up, just do
Yeah,
a
yeah,
little walking. They actually had better
It's more
control of their blood
beneficial?
glucose.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perhaps, I mean, obviously sounds like a huge field, in my opinion, to be honest. And that's only the master's degree. And we haven't spoken about the PhD now.
Yeah.
But before we dig into that, I mean, what does it take for someone to actually get into this field in terms of, first of all, in terms of qualifications? Are there any certain prerequisites that you needed? Because you said you had an experience with it. Is it the diabetes center?
Yeah.
Are there any other prerequisites that you need to get into such a huge field?
See, in my case, I was biomedical.
Yeah.
My work experience got me into the program. So we were
Mm.
9 students in the course.
Yeah.
I was the only one without a sports background.
Okay.
It was harder, obviously, but the experience kind of bridged the gap.
Okay.
So it's more of you need to obviously passion for it.
Of course. I'm sure.
Second of all, just having the necessary chemistry, biology, all these science courses is a plus,
Yeah.
and the work experience for sure.
The work experience.
Ooh.
Well, so who would need to see a exercise physiologist?
Everyone.
Everyone.
Yeah. Well, you don't have to.
Okay.
See, like an exercise physiologist, probably we prescribe exercise.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe it would be more helpful to people that don't know much about exercise. They want to learn
Okay.
more about exercise.
Okay.
Their exercise physiologists specialize in different fields. So,
Mhm.
for example, bariatric surgery is big in
Yeah.
Kuwait. It's the biggest surgery that's being done by Kuwait.
Mm.
But exercise physiologists should be more involved.
Okay.
So there's what we call a prehab program. So before you do the surgery, you need to do an exercise program that's normally run by an exercise physiologist.
Can you elaborate on the surgery again, just so that for
So-
people that
Bariatric surgery is surgery for people that are obese,
Okay.
overweight.
Yeah.
so they do
it's-
it to essentially just do a faster way of losing weight, essentially.
I don't want to say that.
Fair enough. Just for the
Yeah,
sake-
no,
okay.
no, I don't want to say it that way. It's one of the surgeries, like gastric bypass,
Right, right.
Okay.
the balloon, and all these things.
Right.
These are done
Yeah.
for.
And they're
to reduce
invasive surgeries.
They are very invasive
Yeah.
surgeries. A lot of people think it's
Yeah.
the easy way out. It's not
Yeah.
the easy way out.
That's what a lot of people think. I agree.
It's
a
It's
lot
a
of
thing
work.
nowadays.
It's not the
Uh,
easy
So you're
way
saying
out.
that your field has to be more involved in that?
Yeah.
At what stage?
So currently, I have a paper that's out with a group of doctors around
Yeah.
researchers around the world, and it's in preprint right now. But we've kind of looked at the role of an exercise physiologist from A to Z and how it works with
Okay.
with bariatric surgery patients.
Yeah.
And it's an extensive role. It's not just literally, just get on the treadmill and do this exercise. No,
Yeah.
it's actually a whole program from
A
when
to
they
Z.
decide to when they do the surgery till after they do the surgery. So it's a whole process.
Mm.
And we look at monitoring the exercise. So that
Yeah.
we're involved with monitoring exercise. We're involved in prescribing the exercise, changing the exercise.
Mm.
We're also involved with a lot of people, they lose interest into the program. They
Okay.
stop seeing changes. So it's kind of motivating them. So
Right.
the exercise physiologist is really involved in the whole spectrum.
I'm interested because you're saying you're using the word exercise and not workout. Is there a reason why you would say is there a big difference? Because you're saying exercise as if it's a complete different thing than working out. That's what people say nowadays.
No, but I mean, working out.
I'm just curious. I'm just
No, I
touching.
mean, exercise is broader.
Yeah, fair. I'm just curious.
Because I don't know if you'd call running working out versus exercise in general.
Yeah.
Like exercise is a broad
There's a
spectrum.
broader spectrum.
It's also because it's part of the title, so I'm kind of
Yeah. Okay.
incorporating it so you connect.
Fair.
But like
Okay.
working out, you can say I work out, but a lot of people connect that to maybe going to the gym,
Going to the
doing
gym.
bodybuilding
Yeah.
Right.
versus CrossFit versus
Like a fine
running
line.
versus
Mm.
So exercise is broader.
Right.
There's aerobic exercise, there's strength exercise, there's a mix
Okay.
of both.
Now, what would you say is the difference between a physiologist and a physiotherapist?
Okay, so a physiotherapist normally works with you after an injury.
After injury.
So, yeah, the doctor.
So it's for recovery.
No, not
Okay,
necessarily just
not
recovery,
necessarily.
but
Okay.
the physiotherapist, you have an injury, perhaps.
Okay.
You have
Yeah.
like a movement issue, you have a mobility issue, you
Yes.
have
Mm.
an issue you were born with.
Right.
Normally, the doctor would prescribe first,
Yeah.
and then the physiotherapist would create a program for it.
Mm.
Exercise physiologists normally work in this same group of people.
Mhm.
It would probably be for prehab, so
Mm.
prehabilitation. So we work
before.
to avoid injury, prevent injury.
Oh, okay. So
So-
nice. Okay.
We would do programs that maybe strengthen your legs.
Okay.
So we perhaps could work with you if you're going into a surgery.
Yeah.
Best the exercise, the physiotherapist is more for the injury part of things.
Okay.
So
Strengthening
you take
part
care of the before of the surgery, and then the physiotherapist essentially comes after.
We could do stuff after, but it's
Yeah.
normally not right after surgery.
I mean, let's take a situation, right? Let's take someone going into surgery right now, and he actually comes to you and he needs to prepare. What preparation are we talking about?
It depends on the surgery first. But
Yeah.
let's say, ACL, all the knee surgeries,
Yeah, that's
you
the big one,
definitely need to strengthen before.
Yeah.
Because I was telling you, exercise, even for any surgery, it preps you for the surgery itself.
Okay.
And it's
So if I have an ACL, for example, I need to prepare the muscles for the surgery.
And how would I prepare the muscle before the surgery?
that's a whole conversation.
Whole
But
conversation.
it's technically it's strengthening. So you'd want to strengthen.
Okay, so
'cause
it's like certain exercises for the knees. And
there's
the
a whole
legs.
there's a whole
Okay.
protocol that's out there.
Okay.
You could do rehab for like pulmonary rehab, people
Okay.
with breathing issues.
Okay.
That's all these programs are normally like they're drafted and they're outlined and you can follow it.
But I mean, but reality is most people don't prepare before surgeries.
A lot of people.
So that's the reality of things. Now, the first
Yeah.
thing is why. Second thing is that what are the risks if I don't prepare
I think
properly?
Contradictions after surgery or something?
Yeah, a lot of times the surgery fails after a while. The surgery could be done really well, but because you're not strong enough, you're not. And technically, when you exercise before, it kind of gives you that commitment, that dedication, that discipline, and that kind of translates after. You feel better. It's just your body is better at coping with, because the surgery isn't easy. It could take 15 minutes, but they actually did do trauma or damage to your body.
Yeah.
So your body needs to be strong enough to kind of
To actually get that surgery done to
exactly.
them. So you, in terms of your, it's good to know that your working days, perhaps. I'm sure that you have very different dynamic days where you don't have a day that's similar to the day before, do you? Because there's always different cases and.
Yeah. I don't see cases all the time. No, currently I don't have a clinic myself, but I'm studying. I'm doing my PhD currently.
Okay.
So I'm kind of focusing on that. Personally, I like the field I want to get into is corporate wellness. So I'm into.
Corporate wellness.
It's a new.
What is corporate wellness?
So we look at wellness in the workplace.
Okay.
I'm
employees.
Employees.
Okay.
I'm very interested in working with medical residents. So residents that are getting into different specialties.
Right.
Yeah.
Currently, it's not something being offered to medical residents. In the U.S. and North America, to become an accredited program, you're required to have a wellness program. So it could be something as simple as once a month they do like a bonding experience, like a football or like a game where people come together and build this wellness, because the medical residents are one of the largest groups of people, of cohorts that have burnout. They are the ones that are super stressed.
Right.
Yeah.
A lot of them drop out.
Hours and all
Exactly, and they're expected of so much, and they don't have time to look at their wellness.
Right.
So it's
It is
important
a
to
very
kind of
demanding
incorporate
job.
that into their program, so they actually connect with it and they actually go through with this program.
It probably is one of the biggest problems, in my opinion, and not just in Kuwait, in the world, where there are companies just tend to focus so much on the end result, like the bottom line, the numbers essentially, and they actually forget about the human aspect of the people.
Exactly.
Where I think, I'm sure you'd agree that there's a clear correlation perhaps between the wellness programs and productivity and hence the bottom line.
I know, and there's some companies in the States where they work with insurance companies, and people that actually work out, the insurance premium is less, so they cost the company less.
Wow.
Because they exercise. So that's one of the ways where they're actually promoting exercise and well-being. When I worked in the diabetes center, we did a walking program. We got permission from the director that staff are allowed to get up for 30 minutes and walk. And we incorporated management to get in, and actually people would actually walk every day. And a lot of them would come back to me and be like, we actually met new people we've never seen, because we're always at our desks. But
beautiful.
Because we exercise and we feel better, we enjoy work more, and that actually translates into less sick days. Productivity is usually higher with staff that is active.
I'm sure.
And
so
happy.
it's good on all sides of the thing. Yeah.
And it doesn't cost anything.
It doesn't cost anything.
No.
Wow.
All right.
Well, I guess it's time to take a break, and we'll be right back to continue the conversation right after this.
We're back to continue this beautiful discussion with Osama here today. Just to build up on literally where we left off.
Yeah.
So we're talking about the well-being, kind of like the wellness of the employees at companies. One of the biggest problems, at least I face personally, and I'm sure others face in the same time, is like, how do we get the cultures in Kuwait, or in at least the GCC, to accept and appreciate that, hey, listen, invest in your wellness, that employees are your key asset, and so on. Is it happening more in the Western world? And if yes, how can we actually bring it here to this part of the world?
So it is happening, obviously, a lot more in the Western world.
Yeah.
I think some companies are actually doing it here.
Oh, okay.
It's starting.
Nice.
But it has to start from the top down. So when we did the one in the diabetes center, we actually got the director general to be part of it. And it's the only way people felt, okay, we can do it.
It's like lead by example, lead by example.
Lead by example.
Yeah.
So when he would walk, people were, they got at least that barrier with the whole superior or manager, that kind of broke down because they see him doing something they're doing. But it needs to start from the top down. I see Kuwait adopting it slowly. It has to translate into money, I think, somehow for a lot of companies to take it.
Right.
But I think the more people are getting into it, there's a lot more people doing corporate psychology, a lot more people doing organizational psychology.
I agree.
I
agree.
People like what I do.
Yeah.
I think that could spark. Part of my PhD, I want to actually pilot this program with one of the residency programs. And I think piloting with one will kind of have that domino effect and snowball into the other programs.
Okay.
So I think once we start, we got to start somewhere. And I think we shouldn't give up because there are success stories around the world. So definitely it will be one of our.
Okay.
Right.
I think it's fair to jump into PhD.
Yeah.
Let's do it. Okay. So can you talk some more about PhD?
Sure. So I'm doing my PhD in Columbia University in New York.
Nice.
I've been wanting to do this program for a while. So my current supervisor, I've known her for the past 10 years. I've kept contact because I knew I wanted to ultimately do this one day. Funny story about another reason I got into this program. I was watching James Bond. So one of the James Bond movies.
Which one were you watching?
I think Die Another Day or something.
Okay.
And they actually, I don't know if you guys saw it, but they were doing an exercise test on James Bond. And they were like in this cave underground. And they had all these high-tech equipment at the time. This is an Italian brand. And that day I saw myself doing that. I'm like, I could do this. But for me, the more I got into exercise physiology, the more I kind of wanted to step back and do it with working with sick populations or populations that are in need of exercise more than working with performance sports.
Right.
And one of the things I did is I worked in Liverpool. So I did my master's in Liverpool. I fought to go to Liverpool. So it wasn't
fight to go to
it wasn't part of our program.
Okay.
We were 9 students in the program and I was the only one that was international.
But what made you want to go to Liverpool?
Because I was there.
Okay.
And you can't. So I watch football.
Right.
But I was never a Liverpool fan until I lived in Liverpool.
Did you get to work with a team?
I did.
In what capacity?
So what I did is I went in 2018 and 2019 and we did the summer testing. So I went in the summer and what we did is we would put the athletes into this rigorous exercise protocol and we took blood from their ears. So we actually...
From their ears?
Yeah, so we did it from the ears.
Do what exactly?
We measured something called lactate. So lactate is a byproduct that your body makes when you exercise or when you're going through strenuous exercise. Okay. You kind of know when you run a lot, you kind of have that pain in your stomach. Okay. That's kind of the buildup of your body's fighting. So this is a byproduct of...
I never understood that part, the pain I get when I run. I
never
understood it.
So you get it faster and more vigorous if you're unfit.
Yeah.
So these athletes, we would make them run at different speeds. And at different time intervals, we would take blood measurements. So
why from the ear?
Because when they go back to running, with gravity, it stops. Versus if we did it through their finger, we'd have to tape it and it would be like a gruesome thing, just removing it and pricking them again.
You just take the blood and then...
Yeah, you'd literally pull back the earlobe.
That's so interesting.
And then once you start running, it's going to
stop because of gravity. And then once you need more blood, you just pull it back and you squeeze and it doesn't hurt.
So I'm so sorry, but like, can you explain the gravity part again? Consider
So gravity makes it stop. So once, because it's pushing down, so the blood stops. You don't actually get blood coming down.
But do I have to be running for that to stop? Or does it stop?
It stops after a while,
A
but
certain
the
speed.
finger is a lot messier.
It's a lot messier.
We have to tape it or
Right,
band-aid
right.
it, and then we have to remove it and
Slows
take
down
it
the
again.
process,
We do maybe like at least 10 times. So we take blood at 10 different intervals. But this is a lot cleaner.
Yeah.
The pictures that they took of us doing this looks like the players are in pain, but they're in pain from running, not
I'm
from
sure
our,
not
Right.
from the ear.
Not from
Yeah,
the ear.
not
for
from
it's
the
very
ear.
simple, isn't it?
It's very interesting. Never heard about something like that, just taking blood from the earlobe.
I thought like, I mean,
You know? It's kind of, you learn
can try
something
it.
every day on The Untold.
Yeah.
So we've talked a lot of your journey. What part would you say was the most fulfilling?
I worked with kids. So I worked in the diabetes center, and over the summer we used to run a kids camp. We called it Dasmanite, which is in terms with Dasman. So Dasmanite were like the little kids, and it was for kids from age 8 to 15.
Okay.
Most of them were overweight, obese. Some were diabetic or family of a diabetic kid. And over 3 weeks, we taught them about nutrition and exercise. And this is when I realized I had a different personality when I trained people. I'm
You
normally
switch into a different person?
I'm very shy. I'm very reserved. Actually, I'm social, but I'm shy. I'm like,
And the difference.
but with the kids, I was having fun.
Okay.
And I was loud, and they hated me the first week because I made them run, and a lot of them never ran before.
Never ran before.
No. And we used to take.
Wow.
We took
then you fall in
stairs.
love with it, don't you? Like, I
Yeah.
mean, when you feel the added value it has, like how your mood changes and so on.
Yeah, and we used to take the stairs. So we worked between the 2nd and the 5th floor, and we used to take the stairs. And they didn't like that.
That was not
No.
fun.
But the cool thing is they made their parents take the stairs after. In fact, this is the part that I liked. I saw.
That's nice.
I was looking at one of the kids, and the mom was like, "Let's take the elevator." She's like, "No, we're taking the stairs." And it kind of, in this, we're working down up. So the kids guilt their parents into being active.
Right.
One of the parents called me like 3 months after the program. She's like, "I don't know what you've done with my daughter, but whenever she has any fast food or she feels guilty about the food she eats, she disappears." And the mom's like, "One day I went to check on her, and she was planking in the other room. She's like, I feel bad that I ate so-and-so fast food."
And she does try
and
to
she just
burn the calories off.
So you've worked with kids and you've worked with adults, haven't you? Okay, so I mean, which ones were?
Yeah. Do you have a preference?
Which ones were easier to kind of like
Or
convince
easier.
and work with?
Surprising the kids.
Surprising the kids.
Surprising.
Yeah, the kids, you have to find ways to get to them.
Right.
But once they like you, they love you. And they
True.
kind of believe in what you do. And it's very contagious. Their happiness is very contagious to the people. So with adults, there's a lot of barriers to break, especially cultural barriers and so many things. It's working with a female versus working with a male, working with an older patient. There's also a lot more like obstacles, especially when you work with disease populations. There's a lot of things to take into consideration. With kids, it's just find something they love, find something they're having fun with.
Of course, exactly. I mean, you said earlier that it was difficult they hated you for the first 2 weeks. And I'm sure this is kind of like not a representation, but just an indication that we have this issue that goes on in society. What do you think we could do to kind of like solve like cultural issue on its own, rather than kind of like focusing on the symptoms, like digging deeper into what's the actual illness that we have in society that's not causing people to kind of like work out?
I think we should normalize exercise.
Yeah.
We should normalize. Like one huge phenomenon I think someone should study is everyone walks in Ramadan. Everyone goes out to the avenues.
But only that 1 month though.
That's and then
It's like 1 out
Eid
of 12.
comes and no one's walking.
No one's walking.
But everyone's walking.
Why do you think people choose to walk during Ramadan?
Kill time.
Kill time.
And everyone believes, I mean, it could be true.
Anti-stomach workouts is something
there's a
that
lot
kind of
of
works. What do you think? Because they are fasting, it's considered an empty stomach workout, whether they're walking, or some people do CrossFit on an empty stomach, during Ramadan. So is that beneficial?
There's research on both ends.
Both ends.
Of course, as always.
So depends on the person. Like you have to take it case by case.
Right.
I understand the science or the rationale that a lot of people use it, but a lot of people need the food for energy. So a lot of people say maybe I won't work out at 100% because I don't have the energy or the fuel.
Yeah.
A lot of people say I'd rather work on an empty stomach. It's just, I think with exercise, it should be what's convenient for you.
Okay.
A
So
lot of
it's not
people
one way or the other.
and the type of exercise. So
Type of
people,
exercise.
a lot of people like to do cardio on an empty stomach
Yeah.
versus
Yeah.
bodybuilding because
Mhm.
you're already like a lot of people won't do strength training before
Mhm.
futur if they're fasting
Right.
because it's contraindicated or
Yeah.
it's counterproductive.
Mhm.
So it kind of you have to take it case by case.
Okay, I see
and
what
the,
you mean.
the thing with exercise, the science is there on both ends.
Yeah.
You can argue science for everything. Recovery is a huge one, like
Yeah.
Yeah.
ice baths and
Right.
massage guns and all these things.
My
there's
God, yeah, all these.
there's science on both ends. Sauna is a big one now. Sauna is coming back.
Is
huge.
it beneficial?
The science? Yes.
Yes.
There's a lot more
the
to
personal
go.
opinion.
Yes. I'm a
Okay,
big prominent.
okay.
Yeah, no, it's
Okay.
amazing. It's
Yeah.
been people have been doing it for so long.
Have you tried the ice bath before?
I have
I have tried
And
it.
It's
Are
not
you
comfortable.
for or against the ice
My
baths?
God.
4,
For.
but I don't know if I do an ice bath. Maybe like you can end your shower.
I do
You
that.
can end your shower on cold.
Cold.
And they say like science is saying that you should do 11 minutes collectively throughout the week.
11
So it
minutes.
doesn't have to be. Yeah, it
of
doesn't have to be like one
cold
go.
water.
Cold water immersion.
So
Or
maybe
just a
like-
cold shower at the end.
Yeah, right.
It
11
awakens
minutes.
you.
That's
Oh my
10
God.
in the
we
morning.
I do that shower thing. I mean, in Kuwait, I think the cold
With our
is
weather.
not too cold, is it?
Yeah,
So the cold is actually very warm.
it is.
It's very soothing. But ice bath?
ice baths.
I've jumped into that one
Painful.
before.
It's fun,
I
though.
was jumping like
It's
a
such
fish
a
inside there.
refresh, though.
It is.
Instant refresh you would
It is,
get.
it is.
You know.
But people do a protocol, so they do like sauna, steam bath,
Yeah, that's exactly.
jacuzzi.
Oh
So
wow.
the people do this protocol
Oh.
thing together.
Can you perhaps tell us more about the science or your opinion on why is it that once we jump into an ice bath, we feel really, really bad about how cold and uncomfortable it is, but once we go out of it, it actually feels rewarding.
So the science behind the ice bath is,
Yeah.
or ice bath is kind of similar to when you ice an injury.
Mm-hmm.
So the idea is you kind of
Icing your whole
you're
body.
icing, you're numbing the area.
Okay.
Yeah.
But the people that are against it say
Yeah.
our bodies are amazing. So the more you learn about your body, the more you realize, mashallah, yani, it's a masterpiece.
Right.
Yeah.
That's why I love the body a lot more the more I get into physiology, because you learn how all your organs come together.
Mm.
So what they do is once you freeze an area or make it really cold, what does your body do? It's a phenomenon called homeostasis. It wants to bring it back to normal. So it rushes more blood to the
Rushes,
area.
Okay.
So the more blood travels
The
nutrients.
warmer your body will get.
Yeah. So what's happening is your blood is rushing all these nutrients,
Mm.
which help you with recovery, which
Yeah.
help you with blood flow, which help you with so many things. So that's the idea behind the ice bath. So you get
But
into
is it not about like stressing the body out that it you know, like
it's all stress.
makes what is it endorphins? Is it? I mean the hormone that kind of like it's like
yes, and increases
you're at
cortisol.
risk essentially.
Yeah. So the idea is it's kind of you go through this stress, but you feel good after.
Yeah.
So all stress, technically, to an extent, makes you feel better after. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. So sitting in the ice bath, it's not easy.
Mm.
Even sitting in somewhere really hot, after you kind of feel better because you've mastered this, you've been through it. So it's that whole good
Fair.
feeling that gets after. So that's the whole
That's
idea
fair.
behind all these things.
Well, we're about to reach the end of our segment here. Any last words you have in general in terms of tips from your field?
Yeah. So I'm a big proponent of walking.
Walking.
Walking I think is one of the most underrated.
You think I could actually
Mhm.
lose weight walking an
You
hour
can.
every day?
You can, but I would cut it up, as I told you.
Get it up.
It's best to split your walking throughout the day.
Okay.
The new gold standard in numbers is
Mhm.
8,000
8,000 steps.
per day. That's when a lot of papers have found.
8,000 steps.
What is that? What does that amount to?
Kilometers.
I don't know. Not sure exactly, but
I mean,
That's
that's
all-
a long walk.
That's
all
a long walk.
fi-
Yeah.
So
If
split it
each
up.
step is a
Split
meter.
it
If
up,
each step
yeah.
is a meter. So
Okay.
that's 8 kilometers.
Yeah. So split it
Okay.
up throughout the day.
I got.
I love to go walking in the malls,
Mhm.
Okay.
especially now with the weather.
Fair.
So that's my recommendation: walking,
Alright,
walking,
alright.
walking.
Well,
Not
thank
just
you,
in Ramadan.
Thank you,
Thank you.
Doctor, for your time. We've had
Appreciate
a
it.
great
Thank you.
conversation
Thank you so
here
much.
today.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you. We'll be back with the wrap up.
As expected, what a beautiful episode today with Osama. Honestly,
Yeah. He's knowledgeable a lot, you know.
Because it's very, very true, and I think if people just appreciated it more, I think the workplace could be healthier. We don't practice it in our own workplace, and I think that's because of culture and their reluctance to kind of
culture
accept
isn't accepting of it. Yes.
It's not. I think it's just because it's obviously taking an hour of your day to go on a walk, for example.
Right.
I mean, the typical culture, typical business world will simply tell you to use the hour to make money.
As
if, and then again,
but once they start seeing it does actually make money with incorporating this, then it is beneficial.
Yeah, exactly. If you think long term, I think money has to. So money is the result of good work and good well-being.
So it's just misinformation, and people need education on the subject. And hopefully, through today's episode, they learned more about the topic.
We did.
Yep. Well, that's all for tonight's episode. Tune in next time. This is Hussein. I'm Ahmad, and I'll see you next time.